In the last 30 years, a fantastical conspiracy theory has become increasingly popular, one that may be the most ridiculous out there, or the most incredible. Supposedly, a network of reptilian creatures have infiltrated the world's government, media, and entertainment industry. So, from the mysterious identity of Michael Brownlee, to the potential real appearance of the Bushes, join us. Out of all supposed reptilian anomalies, the most popular relate to the eyes. On multiple occasions, news anchors have seemed to accidentally reveal a second set of eyes. In an interview with Wolf Blitzer, CNN correspondent Brian Todd was filmed blinking furiously before viewers noticed a flash of hidden pupils.
Yeah, what about the cost, Brian? Is that at all a consideration?
It's a big consideration. Just about every former officer I spoke with says the cost of outfitting each combat troop with a tracking device is one of the main reasons they don't have them right now.
So when you speak with...
But others say if they can deal with the cost and pay for all of this, it is worth it not only to track missing troops.
Though skeptics have suggested that this is nothing more than video compression, others have questioned why the error only sticks to the eyes, rather than the entire frame. Bizarrely, the onset of blinking before the reveal of the second eyes appears to be a common occurrence. Both Fox News journalist Sharon Breams and this unidentified Spanish reporter have suffered similar issues. So could the truth be in the eyes? On a standard edition of the Fox-owned KKTV, an LA-based reporter reads the latest story about celebrities. Yet once more, the anchor starts to transform, until, unheard by the audience, the producers scream at her to stop presenting. The camera then cuts to someone else, and when it returns, the reporter is back to normal.
The Globe asked a doctor to assess certain celebrities' risk factors and make her analysis. For example, she says, it appears Britney is suffering from a major psychological disorder, and that it might actually be bipolar. Could be that. The doc then predicts how much longer they'll live. Sick, I know, but I also know you want to hear what she has to say. The doc says if these people don't get help or straighten up fast, I haven't pre-read any of this. Britney won't make it to the age 30, Lindsay won't see 25, and Michael Jackson has no more than 5 years left. At the other end, Angelina's going to have a long, healthy life, and so will George Bush and Nicole Richie.
If you're not already bipolar,
I hear yelling in the booth. Are they yelling at me for the way I read that?
No, you did great.
Okay.
But if you're not,
wait, excuse me. Both,
I could hear Lisa yelling.
Give her a break. She didn't read it earlier. She doesn't know the story. It's okay. Just stop it. She's okay.
I could hear you.
Yeah. Some expert who doesn't know any of them making comments on how long they live than we did on Iraq today. Okay.
Are you trying to make me feel bad?
I don't have to.
You're right.
Interestingly, throughout this clip, viewers have claimed to hear the anchor both hiss and make a slight guttural sound off camera. However, skeptics maintain that since the anchor's clothes appear to transform as well, this all but confirms it's a technical error. Believers though dismiss this, arguing that the clothes are part of the disguise. Regardless, she isn't the only Fox News reporter to allegedly transform into a reptilian. On the Atlanta branch of the network, fellow news anchor Dale Russell displayed a similar transformation.
Now again, we want to stress from what we observed and what the sheriff says, a small number of motorcyclists are causing all of the problems. But the problems are serious. Emergency responses are stretched thin. Weekends are spent cleaning up motorcycle wrecks by the sheriff's deputies, and some tourists and locals say the speeders have taken over. Now we mentioned last night stories go around the mountains about the winner-take-all races. Well, the owner of the website who advertises those races told me it's all just a joke. He says it doesn't really happen. He says he put them on his website just to annoy the local sheriff, Russ. And they basically are saying some of the same things over and over here, and other people cause problems, the bicyclists, the cars that you see going over the double yellow lines, not staying in their lane. And some have acknowledged to me that, yeah, these guys are driving really fast, but the ones that are really causing the problems are the inexperienced drivers getting up there on powerful bikes that they're really not ready to drive yet. And that's kind of the main thing that we're hearing from them.
Further, in what is likely just a coincidence, but an odd one nonetheless, Russell shares the same name with Dale A. Russell, a paleontologist who theorised that if dinosaurs hadn't gone extinct, they would have eventually evolved into this humanoid creature. As seen, this life form has the appearance of a typical reptilian. Is it therefore possible that the name is a knowing joke? Bizarrely, it seems that many Fox anchors are alleged to be reptilians. One in particular, Michael Brownlee, a former reporter for the LA branch, has a history of potentially transforming, a point that seemingly rejects the theory it's due to compression issues. However, the most infamous transformation came when the cameraman, apparently aware of Brownlee's emerging real form, turned the camera away for no reason.
Now, we talk about the mother's arrest, but the mother says that her 16-year-old daughter, the victim in this case, was also arrested here back on September 18th. Now, keep in mind, this is the family story, their account of what they see happened here on campus earlier this month. Unfortunately, we weren't able to reach the school district for comment, but keep in mind, a mother and daughter baffled over how a celebration with cake.
Whilst promoting her book, Jenna Bush, daughter of former US President George W. Bush, appeared to constantly shapeshift. Further, viewers noted that the anchors interviewing Jenna attempted to let her know of this mistake, repeatedly discussing how she'd changed.
Talking with teenagers and students about Anna and the other kids I met in Latin America, and so far it's been really inspiring.
And not unpleasant. I mean,
Well, we'll change all that.
no, we're not going to change that.
Don't change it, please.
We will
All right,
not change
okay.
it. We will not
She
change it.
obviously hasn't seen the show.
People have been nice, and they're not attacking your dad or his policies to you.
Well, I met with my job. I worked for UNICEF, which is an amazing organization that works in over 150 countries. And my job was to meet with teenagers who were living in exclusion, who were living in extreme poverty or living with HIV, and write their stories, listen to their stories and write them for UNICEF. And so, I mean, I obviously learned so much from these kids. I learned from Anna in particular, who has lived an extremely difficult life. I learned to live each day to its fullest.
Doing any kind of missionary work, I think, really changes a person. And you and your sister had a little bit, I mean, you guys weren't Paris Hilton, but you had a little bit of a reputation as party girls. Do you think this changed you?
You know, so it didn't change my personality necessarily, but I taught for 2 years after the University of Texas, after graduating, and then went on to Latin America. And you know, of course, I've grown up. It's been 7 years since people had that image of me. But yeah, I mean, listening to their stories was incredible. And
Jenna, when you see this, when you not only listen to their stories, but you get involved and you write about it as well, does it change how you look, you're thinking about how government should run?
Still, Jenna isn't the only alleged reptilian in the Bush family. In one interview, her grandfather and fellow President George Bush Sr. seemed to transform for a split second. As noted, his pupil briefly became slate, whilst his eye itself looked green.
In Colombo in Sri Lanka, it's full. You literally, I don't know how they're going to get all the crates.
Could this prove that the Bushes are reptilians? And if so, does this mean that similar creatures have been running the US government? What do you think?